trois. Okay, so I am Tony Gomez.
Jeremy Baglaw.
Brian Studley.
Alright, what do we got on the itinerary for today?
We got some things to talk about. I don't know if you... Yeah, let's
just dive right in, you guys.
Some new stuff that's out there or coming out. We could talk about some cool trailers that we saw. Something to just get excited about briefly, I guess. Cooties.
Yeah, that looked really awesome. I don't know how they got the okay to just murder a bunch of kids, even if they are zombies. But I don't know if you guys haven't seen the trailer. It's basically a zombie movie, but the kids become infected by cooties.
So what if cooties make kids?
What if cooties make kids? And I get the trailer. They mentioned that it only affects you if you haven't gone through puberty yet. So the adults can't, but the adults do. I guess get murdered. Quite a bit, it seems. Yeah. Elijah Wood's in it. Was it Rainn Wilson?
Rainn Wilson.
Some other familiar faces.
I can't remember the guy who played Kenneth in 30 Rock. I can't remember his name.
McBrayer.
Yeah,
I think it's Jack McBrayer.
He's hilarious, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks pretty cool. I mean, I can't really recall a movie besides like Village of the Damned when they're just, kids are like the ultimate villain,
right?
Well,
or like Children of the Corn,
right?
But I don't know. It looks pretty creepy, and it looks funny, and I don't know. It looks kind of like it's in the same vein as like Zombieland or something. But what was it? The creators of Saw and Glee. One of the guys who did Saw, one of the guys who did Glee.
That would be
that would be That's pretty good.
That makes sense. Well, it's got Alison Pill in it. I like her, but she's not in a lot of stuff. She was in Scott Pilgrim and Midnight in Paris and Snowpiercer.
I guess we could maybe try and bring this back around. Is this to talk about what we talked about last week with the what's going on in horror movies?
Yeah.
Do you think this is a good?
I mean,
it's kind of early to tell. We just saw the trailer.
Yeah, and that's true. And but I don't know. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's. It looks like a romp.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
It looks like we were talking about movies that don't take themselves seriously.
Yeah, this definitely looks like one of those.
And
it looks like something that you might actually enjoy Rainn Wilson in, because he hasn't done anything since The Office that was good at all, I think.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, actually, I like Super.
I heard
Super was really cool. Yeah.
And I don't know, his little fucking cameo in Juno is pretty great, but
you guys didn't watch Backstrom? So bummed they canceled that.
Oh, really? Was it good?
No.
I was like, that looks terrible.
It was an alcoholic house, and
with Rainn Wilson.
Yeah, right. And not super Rainn Wilson, like the rocker Rainn Wilson.
No.
That one is not good.
Speaking of, that's a little off topic, but speaking of bad TV shows, did you guys catch the premiere of that show Aquarius?
No. I keep seeing advertisements for it though.
Oh man, it looks awesome. The way that it's shot, cinematography was really cool. There's a couple of shots in particular that I thought were really neat, the way they did it, but and I don't know, it's just weird. You can't make it's like a drama about things that kind of happened, but it's this the guy who plays Manson I can't remember the actor's name, but he played Renly Baratheon in Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, nice. He was also in The Misfits.
Yeah, but he doesn't look like Charlie. I don't know if you've seen pictures of Charlie Manson, but that does not a Charlie Manson make.
that guy plays a good psycho though.
I mean, okay, so here's what Charlie Manson had: the fucking crazy eyes, and when people interviewed him, a lot of things that they said were that he didn't fucking blink. And actually, Anthony Hopkins based his performance in Silence of the Lambs off of interview videos of Charlie Manson.
Nice, I didn't know that.
I don't know, I mixed that.
But this guy, I don't know. I mean, obviously they go for the pretty guy because it's primetime TV show.
Right.
The dialogue that they give him is pretty spot on, fucking crazy, because you're like, what are you talking about, you insane guy?
Yeah.
But also every stop doing this. Everybody who has a movie or TV show or something that takes place in the 60s, you don't have to play Jefferson Airplane every fucking time. The first scene in Aquarius, they're at a party and they're like, "Go Ascalis!" And like, it's like every fucking movie, every goddamn thing, you do that. There's other movies that were written then, or there's other songs that were written then. And, it's not a bad song. Nothing against the song. It's just, you can't, it's not, I don't think it really...
Yeah, no. I feel you. There's a few like that. I mean, you got that with the 60s, like in the 70s, I guess, fucking, Freebird just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I will say, David Duchovny, always great.
Yeah? Okay.
He's good in it. A little old, little potato-y now.
You can tell by even just the advertisement that thing was probably airbrushed.
Oh, it
the fuck
is.
Out
That
of it.
he looks like Mulder in the advertisement.
He still looks old, and I can see the face just kind of mushy.
Well, if you've been watching, if you saw like Birdman or RoboCop, even like Michael Keaton by his ears, it looks like his face is like clay, like in Brazil.
Yeah,
just, smushed his face towards his ears, like, and there's all these wrinkles there. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
I
mean,
overall,
there are probably some people out there that liked it, but I thought it looked cool. Some of the dialogue was cool. David Duchovny's good, but overall, I'd say it was pretty average. Just typical what the fuck is ever on TV right now.
Yeah. If you want to check out like a good Manson movie, Helter Skelter from like the 70s. I don't know who that guy was. It was like I think it was a TV movie initially. But whoever was playing that guy was incredible. It scared the crap out of me when I was a kid.
I don't know. It came out a couple years ago, but let me see if I can look it up. It was a claymation Manson movie.
Man.
Live Freaky, Die Freaky. That was the name of it. It came out in 2006. I haven't seen it, but I remember actually hearing about it on G4 when that channel was still neat.
Or in existence, right?
Yeah. Live Freaky, Die Freaky.
Yeah, I see.
Oh, it is the year... okay, so here's the description. I'm just going to read it. It is the year 3069, and the Earth has been robbed of all its natural resources, destroyed by war and ozone depletion, and is now only a barren desert. The humans who inhabit this empty vessel search not only for food, but for a god to save them. Their search will soon be over when Charlie returns to save them.
Thanks, Anonymous.
Not written by Anonymous.
Wow. Hey, if anything, it just give you hope that, you can get movies made no matter what. Look at this.
Yeah. How long is it? 75 minutes?
They're marionettes.
Yeah. Oh, are they?
Yeah. Oh my god.
People who liked this also liked Broadway Idiot.
Oh, man.
And Green Day.
And other Green Day related
Oh, you know
titles.
what? Because Billy Joe Armstrong does the voice of Charlie Manson. So
those people.
If you want to take a bite of that Ted sandwich, you guys go right ahead.
Yeah. Bringing it back, I guess, around to end it on Cooties. Looks really cool.
Yeah, Cooties looks... Sorry.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
For that one. Moving along, Tony over here checked out a movie that I was interested in seeing, but just for whatever reason never happened. You saw Tomorrowland.
Yeah. I did.
Now I will say before that movie looked kind of like a joke to me. I just saw like George Clooney's smug face. I'm like, come see the ride, the movie.
The trailer, the trailer doesn't do it very much justice at all. Because you watch the trailer and you're like, well, what the fuck is it about? It doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't even sort of touch what they're gonna do within the movie. But basically, just a little adventure movie. It's fun. It has some really good visuals in it. And I thought some pretty decent performances from most of the cast. I didn't have much to say about it that was bad. It was an okay movie. It wasn't fantastic or anything, but I liked it. I enjoyed the hell out of it, actually. And I think a big criticism that a lot of people have with it is that they don't spend enough time in the actual Tomorrowland. But most of the movie is them getting there. But after hearing that and watching, I'm like, I think they're there for a pretty good amount. And like the movie did feel kind of short. Actually, I need to look up the time on that, but I enjoyed it. I'd recommend watching it. I'm not saying it's gonna blow your mind or anything, but it definitely overcame the lower expectations that I had for it. But I basically went in because Brad Bird directed it, and Brad Bird has done some of the things that throughout my life and like in my childhood, just he kicked ass. The Iron Giant, The Incredibles. Brad Bird knows how to make a family movie that's funny and interesting and definitely good to watch. So it's not The Incredibles, but it's okay. It's not bad. I do feel bad that it didn't perform as well as they were hoping. They put a lot of money into this. You can tell by the graphics and just the scope of Tomorrowland itself. But all around, I'd say I'd give it like a 7 out of 10, 7.5. It's worth a watch.
Yeah, and that seems. I don't know much about it, and I guess in a way that's like comforting. Mm-hmm. Seeing something that has a pretty decent budget put into it, and going to a new place I've never been except for at Disneyland. But I don't know, man. Like, I guess what's interesting about it to me is the fact that it's already considered just like a big flop and just a huge failure.
Flop. And because of that, Tron 3 is not getting made.
Yeah,
which kind of sucks.
I enjoyed the second one enough.
Yeah, it was nice to watch.
It was. That soundtrack helped.
Yeah. But I mean, Disney's done this whole based on rides and based on places, and it worked with Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's the only thing that really
stopped
worked.
after the third Pirates of the Caribbean.
I don't know if any of you guys saw the Haunted Mansion, but that was.
I did not.
It's on TV the other day.
It's very bad, and I don't know. I think that maybe part of the reason why it did bad is I don't know if people are this, but if people they're like, so Pirates of the Caribbean was good, and Haunted Mansion was lame. And now it's not even a ride; it's just a place in Disneyland.
Yeah,
I don't know if I want to see that.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to end this thing on Tomorrowland, so we can move on, I'd say
check it out.
Check it out. It's definitely in between Haunted Mansion and Pirates. A little bit closer to Pirates than Haunted Mansion, though, I'd say. So the first 3 Pirates. I don't really acknowledge the rest of them.
So
I just wish they'd stop. Okay, but yeah, so what do we got?
All right, so I mean, we're going to talk about what is pretty much an epidemic at this point, is rebooting of beloved franchises.
Yeah.
So-and-so's killing my childhood, or whatever the fuck people say. But this next one hits close to home, I think, for a few of us here. They're talking about, from what I see, they're definitely rebooting or remaking Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
And The Rock has been cast. Thoughts, gentlemen?
Well, I don't know, man. I feel like they were gonna do it. They're gonna.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Let me just preface like my displeasure, which I'm very solid. Like, I don't have a problem with The Rock.
Yeah, no.
The last thing Pain and Gain.
He was
watch
great
that?
in that.
I mean, Michael Bay. That was.
I heard that San Andreas was a burning butt pile, but
it looked like a burning butt.
Yeah,
you go because The Rock's in it. You don't go because
right.
Yeah.
But this is, I don't know. I mean, you grow up with this movie. It's one of those like oddball success '80s movies that's just off the charts and weird. Like,
isn't that John Carpenter?
Yeah.
John Carpenter.
And I don't know. I just gross.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just think they are. Well, I do know that John Carpenter himself has said that he doesn't care if people remake his movies because he gets money whenever they do. And I think he's pretty confident that his movies are great. And he's like, if you want to try, you can pay me some money and do it. It's fine.
Go ahead. People are just going to pay more attention to mine, which was a superior film.
I don't know. I mean, you could cry. They're going to do it anyway, probably. And I wish there were some, you could get more original ideas going, but I just feel like now the way that studios are run so much more like actual businesses, that they're not going to go ahead with something unless they know it's going to make money. And if you have something that people are big fans of, they have that built-in fan base, so it's a lot better chance that, I don't know, the new Star Wars looks awesome, but,
yeah,
that's just going to be a fucking That's gonna make the most money anything's ever made. I feel like.
Yeah, but that's like okay. You're talking about like a franchise where you can develop whole new storylines and new characters and stuff. This is just, I mean, like this Poltergeist shit. You know, like more of the jump scare stuff, like PG, 13. And I don't know, man. Stop it. Like I was on board with the Evil Dead remake at first, and I saw it, and then I let it marinate, and then I was like, yeah. That's I think that might be the last straw. Maybe I'm just ornery.
I think that people should take. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, okay. Interesting enough with that. Like, it is what it is at this point. Maybe you're just saying I should just get used to it and shut up.
Well, no, I just don't. I mean, I feel like there's not much that we can do. I mean, they've been remaking movies since movies have been invented. Very true. The first Frankenstein was 1909, Thomas Edison.
Yeah.
How many fucking I, Frankenstein just came out? How long ago?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. I feel like we could devote an entire episode just on like the evolution of what the remake has become.
Yeah.
Because with something like Big Trouble in Little China and Point Break 2, they're just trying to pull things like, okay, well what was really wildly successful but not like necessarily a staple in huge parts of the culture. Whereas they would remake things that they're like, well, this is freaking Frankenstein. People are going to watch this no matter what. Well, this is this huge trilogy of movies that sort of dictated how a certain generation acted. And now it's just, well, this didn't have that much money, and then it made a shitload. Yeah. So let's just do that because it was, just the way that they're doing remakes now, they're just grasping at whatever they can, to try and make some money.
As we're sitting here talking about this and thinking about what I just said, like, because a lot of times I'll say stuff and I'll not think about it, and that just happened. Like, I'm a fucking asshole because we've been sitting here like for the past month just with a giant hard-on for Mad Max, and and what is that exactly?
But it wasn't a remake. It was a
reboot. It was
kind of a reboot. Yeah, okay, it was a reboot, but it was extending upon the story. It's not like he remade the first Mad Max, right? It was an extension on Mad Max.
Yeah.
So, and it was the original guy that did it. So I feel like it's really hard to compare those two at least because with this one, the guy who originally made it was like, I'm going to make this and then I'm going to do it exactly the way it should be done for this generation. And he did it. Whereas these other things are just trying to grab money.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Mad Max was the greatest thing. It was so good.
So very good. What else? Yeah. Game of Thrones, just a shout out. That was awesome too. Jeremy hasn't seen that either.
Yeah, can't go into too much of it, but damn.
Yeah, my panties dropped right down to my ankles.
I was just like hooting and hollering the whole time. I was like, whoo!
Yeah, everything about it.
Yeah.
But I think they should remake. Why don't they remake a movie that wasn't good? Better.
Like sounded like a good idea, but sucked.
I don't know. I read an article.
Isn't there something? I feel like there's something in the past few years that did that, and it was actually pretty good.
Shit.
They should remake Adventures of Pluto Nash.
I mean, this isn't exactly like that, but I think it's sort of similar with like Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy, it's a comic book, and I'm sure there are a bunch of fans out there that people would say, fuck you for saying this, but no one really knows anything about fucking Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, yeah, no.
So they could do whatever they want with it because it wasn't ever really a successful part of Marvel's franchise. Yeah. And then they made this movie with characters they could kind of do whatever they want with, but still had the Marvel name on it, and it was just huge. And it was really good, like, throughout, and I think that's sort of along those same lines. You can take something that could have been a good idea, or something that has a lot going for it, and then make it into a great thing.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the only example I have. I feel like there is other stuff.
Right. I think that you're correct.
I read a Cracked article once that was about that kind of, and he was the guy who wrote it. I can't remember. He brought up like, what if you remade, that movie Chud, the '80s movie with like his dad living in the sewer. Yeah. What if you like remade that, but like made it sort of like this meta thing, where the Chuds were like the extras of the movie Chud, and they just were left in the sewer to like develop. You could do shit like just make a weird thing.
It's an awesome one.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
Because you could fuck with it in any sort of way that you wanted. Nobody would care. No. People, fans of Chud would just be happy.
All too. No, I don't know. That movie actually has a pretty big
Deservedly so, dude. Yeah, I had a good time with that one. Yeah, that's interesting. You could tackle a lot of those, like Class of Nukem High.
Yeah, oh my god, that movie's so one of my favorites.
Pour a huge budget into it.
Yeah. What's going on?
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, that's what I got, unless you got some open ideas about something that you want to discuss, bring to the table.
I feel like I had something, but I forgot to note it down.
Yeah.
But, maybe if it comes up.
Well, I mean, we got summer TV and all that sort of good crap happening. We got True Detective is going to be coming up.
This
month.
I'm excited for that.
That little teaser trailer with that song in it.
Yep.
It's so good.
That's
so good.
Good, and it's it's a nice chaser for Game of Thrones. And that wraps up. Is there ever going to be a time when they're overlapping? I don't think so.
No.
Right?
No.
They wouldn't
just had episode 8, and they only do 10 a season.
Yeah, you're right. And at the end, I love how on HBO Go at the end now, they have the behind the episode, or inside the episode, and then they'll have a trailer. I don't know. I don't pay for HBO Go, but I enjoy the shit out of it.
As do I. I gotta say one thing though, just because we brought up the fact that it's episode 8, and I don't think this is a spoiler, but I gotta say it.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is Bran?
I heard he wasn't going to be in the season at all.
At all?
Yeah.
What the hell?
That's so.
Because I looked at it, I was like, episode 8. I still haven't seen Bran once. What the fuck?
That's
so
they
weird.
well, because are they doing the same thing that they did last couple seasons where they split one book into 2 seasons?
I don't know.
Because the first season is the first book, second season is the second book, and then the third and the fourth season are the third book. So this 5th season is the 4th book, and maybe they're, I still haven't read the books. I know a bunch of people who have.
At this point, it's never going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I'd always thought, I'm going to wait till the series ends, and then I'll read it because I'll have something.
Yeah.
And then after Game of Thrones is gone, I'll be able to have this now.
That's true.
But it seems like it's going to be so long, and I really want to, because I watch, of the few people that I do talk about this show with on a weekly basis,
yeah.
A lot of them have read the books, and they're just like, oh, this was different in the book, and this is different. And I was like, shut the fuck up, I haven't read the book. I'd like to be surprised by that.
Yeah, no. I would I don't know, I think that if anything, read the book because they go into so much more detail.
Yeah, I can't wait to read them. So
there are characters that they substitute for other characters, and there are characters that don't even exist. And I will say that I do think it's odd that they've added rape scenes in the show where there weren't in the book.
They also took out rape scenes from the book. They took out rape scenes in the show that were in the book, right?
No, they. From what I've heard, people
so the scale of rape is balanced.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's why do you? I mean, if it's in the book, yeah, but if it's not, why do you got to make it? Why you gotta make it rape?
What you raping for?
I know it's like Game of Thrones, and you sort of expect that, but it still is a little.
Bums you out.
Bums me out a lot.
Yeah. Nobody likes a rape. Well, that's not true, obviously. But we don't like a rape.
Yeah.
I don't think the majority likes rape.
We're not rape positive.
But that's just one of the things that show has brought to the table.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can say what you will, but I'd love to watch that shit, dude. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe in the twilight years of my life, I'll sit back and read the game. Be retired.
All right, time
to do this before I kick the butt.
I think when he finally ends the books, that's when I'll probably wind up doing it. If I don't break down and do it before then, I'll be reading the books then.
Yeah. He's gonna croak at some point.
Yeah,
man,
gotta kick it.
Apparently, it's supposed to be the show is supposed to be done before George R.R. Martin is even done writing the books. So what are they doing? Yeah, he's running out of time to finish that 6th book or whatever.
Yeah.
So
doing all those talk shows.
Yeah. He's got he does not look like a healthy man. He should get on that. I don't know. If he really wants to, stop lying about it.
Well, isn't he essentially Tyrion Lannister? Isn't that it's his favorite character?
Yeah.
He models himself. I don't know.
I just think that after a while,
Just excellent.
So this is with the Dune books, Frank Herbert, sorry. Frank Herbert wrote the Dune books, and he died before he was gonna he wanted him to do more with it, and his son took the notes that he had written and sort of put them together and tried to write his dad's next book based off that, and it didn't come out very good. And then now his son is just cranking out all these extended Dune universe books that are weird and kind of contradict things that happen in the other book. And I hope that doesn't happen to George, man.
Does George have
right?
descendants?
I don't know.
Little Joffrey Lannister waiting on the fucking wings.
I would not be surprised if that guy's never had a child.
Well, Tolkien's kids or something. They try to do something.
Oh, yeah, no, they did. Was that Children of Húrin?
I don't know.
That was a book that came out that was, takes place thousands of years before the
He's only
Ring
66,
saga.
man.
Is?
He looks like he's 70.
Yeah, that's
He's
rough.
only 66. He's 75, but eesh.
Just have a picture of him, I don't know, just on your person whenever you're reading a rape scene.
He has no children.
Well,
so
poor
it'll
guy.
die with him.
It'll die with him.
Well, that's whatever. When it ends, it ends.
Yeah,
Did you guys want to do what you're watching? I know you said
watching?
I don't know if you.
Well, I kind of touched on mine, but yeah, we can just go back to yours and.
I've been watching a lot of weird shit. I don't know.
What you been watching, Brian?
God, I guess what would sort of fit in. I watched 9 to 5 this week, gentlemen.
Working
9 to
5.
I
Dude. Dolly.
It's I liked it because I've been watching that Frankie and Grace or Grace and Frankie. Or
how
whatever.
is that?
Really?
It's good.
Yeah.
It's kind of depressing at parts.
Yeah, no. It seems like it would be.
I will. Okay, you know what? 9 to 5. Go read an article about that or something. Let's talk about this Frank and Gracie real quick. It's interesting. The whole premise of the show is that these two women are end up dependent on each other because their husbands leave them for each other. Mm-hmm. And they're, Lily Tomlin's the hippie, and Jane Fonda's, the gorgeous, whatever, trophy wife or whatever. Mm-hmm. But then you got this guy, Caterpillar eyebrows. I can't think of his name. He's from Law and Order or something. And
is he Malone or was he also in Sex and the City?
Ooh, maybe.
Sounds like Dan who died.
Anyway, but him and Martin Sheen are the gay couple, and it's terrible. They are bad.
Yeah.
They're not believable. It's they're trying, all of a sudden, one episode they're just calling each other sweetheart and baby and all stuff. So it's you guys go from these men, men's men pretty much, to just sweetheart, baby, sugar, you don't never read my post-it, that sort of shit, and that sort of brings it down. But other than that, I gotta say, Lily Tomlin, she's fucking hilarious, dude.
Yeah.
So tip of the cap to her. So there you go.
I gotta say, as far as 9 to 5, I wasn't really ever aware of that, and then I've actually heard about it recently because there was a reference to it in that show, Fresh Off the Boat.
Yeah.
There was an episode where the kids are all trying to get Shaq Fu, and then one kid couldn't get Shaq Fu, so he gets the video game 9 to 5. He becomes obsessed with it, and he's like, "This is the greatest game," and then they're all like, "Shaq Fu sucks," and they all play 9 to 5, and it was just the greatest game.
Does this take place in the 90s?
Yeah, it does.
Really?
5 or 94.
Yeah, it's just about an Asian family, and what's the main kid's name? I forget, but he's really into rap at that time and that certain scene, and he doesn't fit in because he moved to Florida, and his family was in Chinatown back in Washington, and that show is a little problematic with some of the things going on with it, and the original guy who wrote it said it's not authentic, but I've seen a few episodes and it was funny, and that's one of those sketches that really made me laugh. It's the 9 to 5 video game.
Yeah,
one of those parts of it.
That's funny. I mean, it's even Shaq Fu reference. Like,
Shaq Fu.
I guess
hilarious.
he throws wind.
Yeah, I guess. The main character couldn't get the game, and then the other kids that got it, they're like, yeah, it's all right. Yeah, he throws wind. That's cool. That was the best part they had to say about Shaq Fu. They're all just desperate to get it.
Sam Waterston is the name of the actor.
Oh, Sam Waterston.
Law and Order.
He was the lawyer on Law and Order.
Yeah, and he's good. All right, anyway, but dude, all right, Shaq Fu.
Shaq Fu.
I gotta check that out. Fresh off the boat.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely some episodes that made me laugh. I know there's, like I said, there were some issues with it, and the guy who wrote the story it's based on.
Yeah,
but there's some stuff that's worth watching about it. I'd say it was funny.
Good.
It's Brian with 9 to 5, and
I got I doubled up.
Yeah.
So what were you watching?
So I just watched. Let me IMDb this real quick ski. I watched this movie. It was called The Chess Players, and it was directed by Satyajit Ray. He's an Indian filmmaker, and I've seen a few of his movies.
What
before.
kind of filmmaker is he?
Indian.
Indian.
But this Chess Players came out in 1977. I've seen a few of his other movies, The World of Apu, The Music Room, and Charaluta, I think that's what it's called. But he's actually a really good director. I like him a lot. The Chess Players itself takes place in the last kingdom in India that isn't under British rule. It takes place in the 1800s. It was pretty neat because it was kind of I don't know, it's about these two aristocrat guys who just play chess all day, and they basically like pretend to go to war with this chess game, but they play it so often that the whole world around them, they just don't pay any attention to it. They don't know what's going on, and they don't know that the British are about to steal their city out from under them, pretty much.
So they're just like the original, like, addicted gamers.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like the world's exploding, and I'm fucking raking up in Call of Duty.
The opening credits for the movie are them just like playing chess, with like a black background, which I thought was really neat because that reinforces the idea that like nothing else matters when they're playing that game.
That's cool.
And I don't know. It was. I just thought it was really neat. And it's a cool representation of like, I don't know, how the British kind of like were total dicks. I mean, they were. It's not kind of. They were total dicks. Yeah. But I don't know. So the king of this kingdom called Oud, basically, this is like the backstory leading up to the movie. There was a rebellion in Oud against the British, and they lost, but the British let them keep the kingdom and like appointed this guy as king and said, you have to pay us a fine, and you have to give us money anytime we go on a future military campaign. And they were like, fine, that's cool. And I don't know, there was just little stuff like the British convinced the ruler to he says, hey, why do you pay for an army if you have all these British soldiers that are patrolling your borders that you're also paying for? Because you give us money for the campaign, so why don't you just get rid of your army? And they're like, yeah, dude, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll just get rid of my army. And I don't know. It was I say watch it. It's not terribly long. It's only an hour and 29 minutes. I thought it was really good. I think he's a really good director. If you haven't checked out anything, if you haven't seen many foreign movies, or if you haven't seen any movies from India, especially at that time from the 60s and the 70s, I would say check this one out, because they're really neat, and they're just different from American movies, and I can't really explain how, I guess.
Like narrative wise,
yeah. I mean, it's not so much the standard 3-act structure that is like hammered into us. It's just a really well put together story that I guess you could, if you really wanted to, break it down into 3 acts, but it doesn't really fit into that mindset. It's just
check some of that out. Yeah. See how it feels.
See how it feels.
So strap it on for size.
Dip your feet into those waters and get action. But so
where
that's
is it touching you?
The Chess Players, directed by Satyajit Ray.
Satyajit Ray.
I say give it a go.
And what is it on to watch?
I watched it on Fandor. It's a streaming service. I think you can rent it on Amazon. You may be able to watch it for free on Amazon Prime. I'm not sure. It is not on Netflix. It's a little harder to find, but it is out there. Fandor is a pretty good service, actually. I'm just going to plug that really quick. If any of you out there like watching movies that aren't, standard Hollywood movies, and you like to branch out a little bit, and every once in a while, so you like check that out, I really recommend Fandor. It's not that much money. I think it's around the same amount as Netflix streaming. It's not one of those sites where I don't know, if you're at home trying to find something to watch with your friends, I'm probably not that. That's more like, I'm going to have a serious movie time with myself right now, or, if there's a movie that, you really want to show some, I don't know. I say get it. Fandor, the logo's a little penguin. They got
$6.99 a month.
$6.99 a month, so cheap. They have all of Werner Herzog's movies, like all of his movies, all of his narratives, and all of his documentaries. Anyway, Chess Players.
Check it.
Nice.
And I think that is our show, gentlemen.
Is that it? Let me just tack on one thing that I found out after that whole little stint about Shaq Fu. Shaq Fu is getting a remake.
I wish you guys could see Brian's face.
It's called Shaq Fu, A Legend Reborn. It was on Indiegogo. It had a $450,000 goal, which it met and then passed by $8,000.
Well, hey, maybe that falls under the category of something that was really bad and is trying to get a good...
I mean, they have Shaq endorsing it, and Shaq's just like this gigantic, hugely ripped monster going around messing guys up with his Shaq Fu.
I don't know.
It's going to be multi-platform. It'll be on PS3, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS4, and Wii U.
Oh, shit.
It's just downloadable, I'm guessing?
It's going to retail for $20. I can't see whether or not it's going to be...
It's probably going to be on the arcade.
I think they're just going to download it. Because, when you get one of the perks, it's a digital copy. So that's how it's going to be. It's just a downloadable game. It's going to be like $30 retail. So
jeez.
I'd pay...
Come on.
I mean... I don't know how much I'd actually pay for that, but they have a $15 perk where you get the game, and I think if you were set enough on Shaq Fu to become a thing, I'd pay $15. That's about it.
Weren't we just like on the cusp of like just erasing him from our subconscious?
Yeah,
like
we were so good, so Shaq was gone.
Although I did see him fall on his flat on his face in some like little GIF or something. He was doing TNT basketball, tripped over a monitor on the floor or something, and just eats it so hard. It was like a couple weeks ago or something.
Just see that guy eat it would be pretty entertaining.
Well, he's not doing it on the basketball court anymore.
That time is long past. Alright, well I just wanted to do a little honorable mention for that since we kind of talked about it, and I just can't believe that happened.
I like it. Great. There's a whole new energy here now.
Yeah. Alright, and so I guess we're good, right?
Yeah. Good times.
Send it. Alright, see ya.
See you later.
Bye, people.
I haven't eaten. Is there food?
You were supposed to be here at 7 o'clock sharp, mister.
I know. Sarah told me. I'm sorry I couldn't break away. Is there food?
Listen, egghead, let me bring you up to date on what's been...
Excuse me. Is there food?
I'm running this monkey farm now, Frankenstein, and I want to know what the fuck you're doing with my time.